It's Mark Nelson here, and yes, I have a banjo on my knee, or in my lap. But it isn't the banjo that you usually think about when you think about the banjo, and that's what I want to talk about today. Some of these more unusual kinds of banjos that got developed in the late 19th, early 20th century. When you usually think of the banjo, most people think of the 5-string banjo like they play in bluegrass bands. That's the most common banjo that most people think of. But in the late 19th century, people went just crazy about the banjo. And they started making all kinds of banjos. They made anything that you could possibly make into a banjo, they made into a banjo. One of the first things they did, like this tenor banjo here, was they got rid of the 5th string. If you have a 5th string on the banjo, it's hard to play in a lot of different keys. So they got rid of that, and now you could play it in all kinds of keys. So this here, tenor banjo, was made in about 1925. And like all banjos, it has a skin head. Like most modern banjos, it has a set of tension hoops around here to tighten the skin head. And this particular instrument is tuned not like a banjo in an open chord, it's tuned like a viola. So, as I said, the banjo that you're used to seeing, the one that they play in bluegrass or in old-time music, this is a replica of an old banjo, has this high string here. So it's tuned to a chord. So when you play the old style, you're pretty much stuck in whatever key the thing's tuned to. And so it's not a good instrument for playing ragtime music and the jazz music that started up in the 19-teens and 1920s, which is why all of these other banjos came into popularity. They had whole families of banjos. They had piccolo banjos, they had tenor banjos, they had long-necked plectrum banjos that are still real popular with the trad jazz guys. These were very popular with the trad jazz guys and also with the blues guys. Then they made bass banjos of all things. And I'm going to show you a couple of my favorites. So this is one. Well, here is one of my favorite banjo-like instruments. It's a mandolin banjo. It's a mandolin. It's got 8 strings, just like a mandolin. You can see 8, 4 on each side, tuned like a mandolin. This particular instrument, like the tenor banjo, they're actually brothers, was built by the Gibson company. They were responsible for a lot of the innovation in the banjo world in the late 19th, early 20th century. This one is from about 1925, and they were really, really, really popular, particularly with jug bands and street entertainers, because like all the other banjos, they are loud, much louder than a regular mandolin. So if you're playing on the street for busking, what we call busking, which you're playing for money on the street, and that's not begging, by the way, that's working. You're giving a service, music, in return for a payment, just like a concert, if you do it right. banjo took America and the world by storm in the 1890s, early 20th century. It was became almost synonymous with the jazz, what they call the jazz age of the teens and 20s. And anything that could be made into a banjo was made into a banjo. I think you've already seen a banjo ukulele in the video I did about the ukulele. This right here is an unusual artifact from that era. It's from about 1880, and it's a guitar banjo, or a banjo guitar. It's really unusual. It has 6 strings, skinhead like a banjo, but it's tuned like a guitar. It's a guitar. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you've learned a few things about the crazy, wonderful world of the banjo. There's a lot more to it than meets the eye. Till next time, stay tuned.